Oleksandr Usyk says that the goal is to be undisputed at heavyweight and then retire. In an interview he did with Cougars Cassius, I believe, on IFL TV. Salute to everybody out there. It's Goodfellas Sports TV. We back. And to become undisputed heavyweight champion, he has to go through Anthony Joshua. He has 3 of the titles, and then obviously if Deontay Wilder, beats Tyson Fury, he has to go through Deontay Wilder. That's a difficult road, especially in the style and the manner he fights in. And he throws a lot of arm punches. And he has good movement. And that movement may baffle some heavyweights. He has solid height. He has 6'3" with 78-inch long arms that's being reported. And, I think his movement is really, really good. It's going to help him out. But he has to learn to generate some better power. And understand he had to fight with Joe Joyce in the World Series of Boxing at heavyweight. He moved good. He pasted Joe Joyce, but Joe Joyce is far, even at that point, in this point, he's far from the most polished heavyweight out there. And I think his movement will give the average heavyweight fighter some problems. I believe that he's going to have to continue to move up the heavyweight ranks the right way. And I believe he's at least a year out from 2019 to 2020 from being ready for Anthony Joshua. Okay. But I do believe Anthony Joshua is a very, very obtainable win from him. With Joshua declining, his movement will be something serious. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Joshua is not an aggressive downhill type of fighter where he's going to come downhill. He's going to sell out and go balls to the wall. He's the type of guy that wants to be a boxer, puncher, get leverage at the end of his punches. Very, very stiff fighter. And you see the foot movement of Oleksandr Usyk giving him some problems. But I still think the biggest problem for Oleksandr Usyk moving up to heavyweight will legitimately be sitting down on his punches. He's going to have to find a professional style. And so when he's going to have to get respect with generating solid power. That's going to be the issue. He's hitting them arm punches, and all that excessive movement at heavyweight. That's different than cruiserweight because you got other heavyweights that's way taller, way longer, and can use reach and kind of, touch you and not kind of get hit. So he got to make a style at heavyweight that's different from when he fight at cruiserweight. That style that he bring at cruiserweight, your average heavyweight is going to give him some problems, all right? But I like his ambitions. He has some goals in mind. And, if he's able to become unified undisputed champion of the world, how can you deny him Hall of Fame and deny him overall boxing greatness from what he done in amateurs, what he did at cruiserweight, and what he's done at heavyweight? You got to respect that. You 100% got to respect his grind, respect his hustle. But like I said, it's a long road because you have to fight some contenders in there. Maybe a Joseph Parker, maybe a Derek Chisora, maybe a Dillian White, maybe a Brian Jennings, maybe guys of that nature. Somebody, about 2 of those guys right around there, maybe a Trevor Bryan, Big Baby Miller, guys like that. He going to have to get 2 or 3 of them guys before he get in there with Anthony Joshua, and that's the goal. Because obviously he's under the Matchroom USA or Matchroom banner, and obviously when you do that, he got his eye set on Anthony Joshua. He says he's been watching Anthony Joshua for quite some time. And if he's watching him closely, he's being honest with himself, he can tell Anthony Joshua is on the decline. He's not getting any better because you go from fighting 3-4 times a year, whatever he's fighting, to fighting 2 times a year, and you still learning on the job. You still trying to hone your skills and fine tune the little nuances of your game. Then you going down to 2 times a year. That's diminishing his skill level. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's going to be the final product for him. It's to fight 2 times a year and not get any better. That's on him. That's totally on him. But I believe Usyk has a better chance of beating Anthony Joshua just based on Joshua being stiff, Joshua not having any rhythmic movement. Joshua technically, people say he's a more technical sound fighter than Deontay Wilder. But if you really look closely, you can tell he does a lot of things wrong. That obviously he don't have the God-given speed and athletic ability Joshua Wilder got. But his back leg comes up stiff, comes up straight. His head movement is none. He don't fight good using his height. He fights good at that middle range. And, he don't move his head. He don't have no bend at the waist. His foot movement is not all that good. It's not all that graceful. It's a lot of things he do wrong. And boxing experts, I don't know if they really sit down and really assess him honestly. I think they look at the delts, the traps, the the muscles, and anybody that can look at his game, his last fights, every fight since the Klitschko fight, it's been trash. And that's why for a lot of times, man, I take a lot of these boxing dudes assessments for a grain of salt, because everybody will tell you in the boxing world you talk to, in the professional world, and these trainers and coaches, they'll tell you one thing, you know, and say, oh yeah, I think this guy win. And then most of the time they be more wrong than the fans in the media. Okay? A lot of these dudes, you know, I find out a lot of these fighters and trainers don't even watch other fighters. You know, a lot of these trainers not even qualified to be coaches. You know, real talk. A lot of these celebrity coaches and these trainers out here, whatever you want to call them, they not even qualified to be coaches. So they act like they Mr. Big Shot, and they don't even know what they're talking about. You know, they don't even take time to break down the film of these fighters. They don't even take time to give you an honest assessment. Their assessment is just as a fan's assessment for watching them each fight by fight and giving an assessment. They don't break down the film and see who does what and does what. Because when you're watching a fight and when you break it down film, it's two different things. When I'm watching the fight, I'm enjoying it. When I'm breaking down film, I'm looking for mistakes, little nuances. I'm not enjoying the fight. I'm pinpointing things that I think I see weaknesses or I see strengths at. And a lot of coaches don't sit down and pinpoint that with Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder. You know, a lot of people can't even tell you 10 people on Joshua's resume, a lot of them coaches and trainers. They just see and think, you know, he looked fundamentally more sound. But if you really look deep into it, he's really not that good. And I think Usyk is going to have a hell of a time and a big opportunity to beat him if he moves up, he makes the right adjustments at heavyweight. If he makes those right adjustments at heavyweight, as far as not having, use his movement just right, you know, move up and weight right, don't move as much, sit down on some punches, change some speed. He still can throw arm punches, but it's going to be at sometimes we have to sit down a little bit more on that straight left hand. It's going to be a little bit more time. We have to sit down on that lead right hook. It's going to be some times where he got to really sit there instead of throw 5 or 6, 7 pity pat punches. He had to sit there and throw 3 or 4 and deliver. It's going to be some times he got to move the jab up and down a little bit more and not move so much and make more educated and more sound movement. If he don't do that, he come with that style of cruiserweight, Anthony Joshua is probably going to knock him out. He'll still have a chance with that style versus Anthony Joshua because Joshua was so much of a robot, has so much robotic movement. You know, ain't no rhythmic movement. Oleksandr Usyk is a way more rhythmic, a more athletic fighter than Joshua. Joshua is a stone foot, stone body, bodybuilder. He's not a fighter. I'm telling you. He doesn't possess a lot of fighters' traits. He's a celebrity bodybuilder that masks as a boxer. Usyk is a real technical fighter that can really break down Anthony Joshua. And he got great stamina. You know what I'm saying? And he seems to be true to the game and really, really diligent on his homework. He's already know how he wants to attack Anthony Joshua, how he gonna beat him. And like I said, if he move up the right way, fight 2 or 3 opponents at heavyweight, I would favor him to beat Anthony Joshua. If he don't have any setbacks, he look good. You know, as far as him beating Deontay Wilder, that's a bad stylistic matchup today. He said he didn't like Wilder because he talked too much. You know, that's boxing. That's the difference between his star rise in the United States and you fighting on HBO and don't nobody know the hell you is. You gotta talk. You gotta sell yourself. If you ain't in boxing to be popular and make this bread, then what is you in here for? For gold medals and accolades? That's cool. That's cool, you know, but you got to get that bread because when you beat up and you don't know nothing else but boxing and you ain't got no other way to make bread, then what else you going to do? So you got to sell yourself. He going to talk. If you don't like the way he talk, then you step up after you fight Tony Bellew and fight him. You know, people kill me. Oh, I don't like he talk too much. Hey, that's the difference between you with Eddie Hearn making peanuts and, you know, Anthony Joshua making $20 million because he's a celebrity. He just come with a celebrity status already. He come with a country that backs him. Deontay Wilder, he in the same boat as Usyk. He had to build himself up, build his personality up, build his brand up. And if Usyk gonna sit there, you know, need a translator, not talk shit, he gonna be wonder why nobody care about him in the United States, why he's not the topic of discussion. And none of these channels really talk about Oleksandr Usyk a lot. You don't see titles of videos got Usyk name in it. These dudes might do a live stream and say his name once or twice, but don't nobody ever dedicate videos to him. Because there's nothing to talk about, you know. Nobody talks about cruiserweights. Your average American don't even know cruiserweight division exists. Don't know a fighter in it. Your average casual fan American, they don't know. So when people say, oh, he talked too much, that's what you're supposed to do. Brand yourself. But long story short, you know, all that pity pat shit that he do, he get knocked out Wilder. You know what I'm saying? You know, he going to have to be on his P's and Q's versus Wilder. You know, he put the earmuffs on. His defense ain't that good. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying that about him and Lomachenko. their defense ain't that good. They put the earmuffs on, and I think Wilder's style is bad for him. I can see Joshua knocking him out too. You know what I'm saying? If he don't change his style to pity pat. But I just think Wilder, it's just a bad stylistic fight for him. You know, Wilder is 4 more inches taller than him, long arms, punch hard. You know, Usyk is going to try to circle around Wilder. And I think eventually he just get caught. He might be outboxing Wilder like Fury might be outboxing Wilder, but eventually he going to get caught. All that pity pat, step over shit, that shit will work with AJ because he's stiff. Say what you want to say about Wilder. He's very athletic, very explosive. And like Ortiz said, man, he got some explosive speed and power. You know, that's just a bad stylistic matchup. So that'll be the most interesting fight for him at heavyweight, how he would attack Deontay Wilder. But I think his best chance, you know, is with, you know, Joshua getting the 3 titles. But that's a tough task at hand if he don't change his style. If he don't change his style, he go pity pat. Eventually, you know, Joshua might strap his nuts on and just go for broke and try to land a big right hand, a big left hook, and get him out of there. So it's going to be interesting. You know, like I said, if he don't change his style, I think I'm going to struggle with some of the contenders coming up. You know, if he don't change his style. But if he changes his style and make, you know, some adjustments, he'll be all right. You know, but I wanted to speak on it. I'll link the interview from IFL TV in the description. Salute to everybody out there. Goodfellas Sports TV. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Twitter, and also you can email me as well. If you got any questions, you can add me on Twitter, DM me on Twitter, Facebook, email me, business inquiries. If you got a story, a link, whatever you want to hit me up on, go ahead. My lines are always open. Also, if you want to make a donation to the channel, the link is in the description. Salute to everybody to do that. I definitely appreciate guys like Gary Benson and Mr. White and the rest of the brothers that do donate, man, to the channel. I might go live a little bit later tonight. But Goodfellas Sports TV, let me know what y'all think. Don't forget, I'll link the interview in the description. It's real short. It has a translator with Oleksandr Usyk as well. Let's Real Radio.